I love you. I tell you today that I love you.
Guess we need to wait for Fred, don't we?
Jody, how's Fred doing?
He's good. He was in the office today for half day, so he's getting better.
It's hard to keep a good man down. No question.
Yes.
So, Mayor, I thought you had an office in a restaurant.
Need to see the humor in that, Marcus.
Oh, yes. There's, well,
You're muted, Randy.
You're right. When the diner was open, I had diner office hours, lunchtime, Monday through Friday.
are they not open now?
No. You know, they have a smaller seating capacity, and for them to try and do it at 25 or even 50%, it costs them more to have their employees there and their insurance cost and all that. So
That's tough.
unless they can go back to 100%, they're not going to do it.
Rushed to a local hospital. According to his agent, Tiger suffered multiple leg injuries. He is currently in surgery. His are investigating 45-year-old in LA.
Hey, Bob, is your TV on?
Yeah, I'll shut it off. Thank you.
We were here. I think we were hearing about Tiger Woods' accident or something.
I forgot it was so long. It was a pretty bad accident.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started a while. Jody, you can do roll call when we get to that. Marcus, would you like to lead us in
Sure.
prayer?
Sure. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening and pray that you bless our discussions tonight as we meet on borough business. And we know there's some important issues, and we pray for your guidance and help in doing that. And thank you for Fred and his life, and thank you for the way that you've been healing him. And we pray that he be fully restored to us soon. And we ask, Heavenly Father, that you continue to bless those who are helping serve our borough residents, including our police and our fire police and so on. Help be with them and guide them and keep them. And we pray that you be with us tonight again. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right. Pledge time.
Standing up.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of
Flag.
the United States
of America.
to the republic for which
To the
it
republic
stands,
for which it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
Under God.
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Justice for all.
We need to just give up and make it around, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost around anyways. My dog was looking at me like, what in the world are you doing? All right, Jody, do you want to do roll call?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Crouch,
Here.
Mrs. Deal,
Present.
Mr. Erickson.
He's absent tonight.
No. Yeah. Mr. Sinkovitz,
Present.
Mr. Darius,
Present.
Mr. Penner,
Here? All right.
We don't have,
Okay, so moving on to the consent agenda, you have the meeting minutes from January 26th and also from February 2nd. Are there any questions on those?
No, sir.
Okay, so approval of bills, that's in your packet. Higher Information Group, $315.50. Irwin and McKnight PC, $240. Irwin and McKnight PC, $952.50. PA Municipal Code Alliance, $810. Boston Mutual Insurance, $413.61. Higher Information Group, $105. JFG Funding, $269. Martin & Martin Incorporated, $168. Coe's Oil Service, $453.26. Brown & Brown of Lehigh Valley, $250. The Sentinel, $339.68. Cumberland Tree Service, $3,110. Edmund Fuels, $156.20. Newville Print Shop, $95. Sailor's Market, $158.15. Coe's Oil, $414.09. Cumberland County Assessment Office, $10.43. For a total from the general fund balance, $8,260.42. Under highway aid bills, Oak Ridge Equipment, $1,124.17 for a total of $1,124.17 from highway aid bills. Any questions about those?
mm-mm.
All right. Treasurer's report, the general fund, and these are all as of the end of the month in January. So 1/31/21. General fund checking, $9,490.30. Rental fund checking, $1,372.71. Street lighting account, $606.23. Fire tax account, $55,383.10. Expense account, the general expense account, $624.26. Newville area events account, $5,407.40. Highway aid liquid fuels checking, $10,233.86. Payroll checking, $20,959.30. Pension fund accounts, the police pension fund plan, $361,408.21. Non-uniform pension plan, $481,240.78. The borough's joint veteran council account, $946.63. The capital improvement fund, $1,467.25. And the tax anticipation loan fund, $989.79. Any questions about that? All right, you have all of the reports in your packet: police chief report, fire chief report, mayor's report, zoning code enforcement officer reports, street superintendent, chief plants operators, and the field operations reports. Any questions about those? All right, looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, down to verbal reports. Police chief report. I don't see the chief on here. But you have the written report in your packet. Next up, fire chief report. Again, you have the report here in your packet. I don't see Bradley on either. Mr. Mayor, you're up next.
All right. The financial report for the month of January. Traffic fines, $1,113.86. Non-traffic fines, $150. Prohibited parking fines, $20. Clerk of court fines, $606, for a total of $1,889.86. The balance end of January in the department's checking account, $11,465.18. 90120 in the K-9 account, $112.60 usable balance on the department debit card, and $201 in the auxiliary police account. That concludes the financial report. Other activities of the mayor, just one in addition to attending the Zoom meetings. I did a video at the request of the Big Spring Watershed Association, where Mr. Erickson is a member. The purpose of the video was to stress the need to maintain the integrity of the Big Spring, to preserve it for future use, recreational use, and also to maintain the integrity to help the other watersheds that are downstream from the Big Spring. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for the mayor? Okay. You have a written report from WEMA in your packets as well. Mr. Barrick is doing a good job, as always, keeping us informed of weather-related issues. So anything to add to that, Fred? I think.
No, other than to just thank Bob for going around with his tractor and cleaning. He was out today cleaning off the storm drains, and we appreciate all the work that he does.
Very good. All right, down to the solicitor's report.
I have a few things to talk about tonight. Resolution 2021-03. It's adopting a policy of paying our employees when they get COVID. Take a look at that. Fred, you still think it's a good idea?
Yes, I do. I presented this last week to the Water and Sewer Authority, and they agreed to adopt it through June 30th and to revisit it in July, and if need be, to extend it beyond July. And the reason they did that was because of the vaccines and everything rolling out. But most of their employees should be vaccinated in the round 1B. So I don't know if council wants to consider it. My recommendation would be just do it through the end of the year as prepared in the resolution.
Are there any questions? Then it's appropriate to have a motion to pass the resolution 2021-03.
So moved.
Been moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, item B.
We have resolution 2021-04. It is appointing to the new pension committee, the police pension committee, a certain Scott Penner. Or who are we appointing?
Yeah, pointing me.
Yeah. So you probably should, there's no money involved in this, so if you want to vote for it, you can. You're going to sign it as borough president, as council president anyway.
I'll abstain.
Is there a motion to pass this one?
So moved.
It's been moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. And I abstain.
And the way it works is that the two members now are, we have a police representative, we have Scott, and the two of you will appoint a third party, and you'll be able to go then with any direction with pension. Although I know that I think we have a bank interested in helping out.
All right.
We're
Item
not going.
C.
See, we're not going to do the the ordinance because we can do it by resolution, and that'll save the expense of doing it. Everybody else is doing it by resolution. We might as well too.
Sounds good to me.
So we're gonna do it by resolution. I'll have that ready next month for adoption. Remember, the new contract takes effect July 1st, and everybody's gonna get new toters and new recycling stuff.
Once that resolution is approved, can we start advertising that? Like, when I say advertising, like publicly advertising that there's gonna be a change come
Oh,
July.
yeah, absolutely. In fact, we could put it on the website now almost, but there's no doubt that we're doing it.
Could I just make a comment on that, on the resolution, please?
Yes.
We need to decide as a council, we charge a surcharge fee, which has always been $2 per account. That money is collected by the township and paid back to the borough. In order to make this a round number, I think, Marcus, you correct me if I'm wrong, Penn Township went with $1.75, and the township, Southampton, sort of liked that arrangement. So, would there be any objection to us following Penn Township and going with $1.75 rather than $2? It just makes the amount a whole dollar amount.
Bless you.
Thank you.
That's fine with me.
It's fine. That's the commission that we would receive then.
Yeah,
So I'll go ahead and do that.
you can add that to the resolution.
Okay. All right. A new lease agreement. I can't do a new lease agreement till we have a discussion on other issues. So that'll dictate which way we go in terms of a new lease.
Okay. So we can do that later in the executive session.
Yeah, if we get a clear indication as to what we want to do in executive session, then that'll give us direction on the lease. So.
Okay.
All right, and IRS with the EDA, we do not have an answer yet from the IRS. They are working from home, and every report I get from people who also have applications in is that COVID has slowed things down considerably. So we'll continue. We can send in another request for status. I think we just have to be patient. There's no sign there's anything wrong with it, so we will see.
All right. Anything else on your end?
No, I'll talk about some other things in executive session.
Very good. Any questions for Marcus? All right. Borough Manager's report.
I just want to give, Jack is not here tonight, so I'm just going to give a quick update on the EDA, and that'll count as my report. The EDA now has its own checking account. It has been funded with a $1,950 grant from Renew Cumberland, so they will begin paying their bills as an authority, and no longer will we be paying any bills for the EDA other than to give them $3,000 a quarter towards their operating expenses. Chris Galata and I have identified companies and foundations to solicit once we receive our IRS certification. We have about 18 different foundations and companies that we will be soliciting, looking for financial support. The EDA is also working on a small grant program. This is around $2,000 to help new businesses located in the borough. Would help with facade painting, signs, window treatments, etc. And those were the three major items from the last meeting on Wednesday of last week. That's
Very
all
good.
Well done, Fred.
You do have Fred down approve tree removal, trimming, letters. You have that down on the agenda.
Yes, there are three parties that have trees. Their trees are not on the right-of-way, but the limbs overhang the right-of-way. Letters have been prepared. They're in your packet, and we just need approval to send out those letters.
Okay, can we get approval for that?
Make a motion to approve that?
Been approved, or it's been moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, Western Cog, Michael.
Actually had something come up, wasn't able to attend. So I don't know any more than what's in the minutes. If Marcus can fill us in, I think he was there.
The big thing is that there's flagger training. The COG managed to get an instructor for free. And so a lot of people are taking advantage of that. You need it. Flagger training is every 3 years. And because of that, we got a new member. Lower Mifflin Township joined the COG at this meeting. That's
Very good.
my report.
All right. Public Safety Committee, Mr. Darius.
The chief of police may brief the borough council on what they're doing in the borough, so informative session. I've spoken with the chief, and I guess sometimes in the near future that probably will take place, sort of give us a broader picture of what they're doing, and so that we get to know them better individually and also know what they're doing for us, for the borough, and for the community at large. Letters may be going out pretty soon. Mr. Potzer was very encouraging in helping me with that. And these would be with regard to the sidewalks and perhaps a 2-year, 4-year plan based on the plan that we have already paid for. Just cost us $4,000 or more. So we could start the process of getting some of the sidewalks improved, so they would not pose a safety problem. The lighting issue at the main crossroad between South High, North High, and East and West Main, that's still a big problem for 18-wheelers as they make that turn. That's a very dangerous thing, and that we have to have a long-term strategic solution for that problem. And it's a difficult one to deal with. It involves the state roads, it involves the borough, it involves safety of our citizens and our taxpayers who cross from one street to the other. The light goes again, as you all know, from red to green, and nothing in between, yellow or what have you. That is something that needs to be done, probably will be very costly, and I don't know how we can resolve that issue, but we need to study that relatively carefully to see what we can come up with. But those are the major safety issues. The minor ones are things I think that we have coped with extremely well, the snow removal, things like that. The people that work for the borough, they're like our family, they do a great job. And I think we can take pride in what they're doing. And of course, they should get some kind of kudos. I don't know what letters, what have you. Letters of commendation, letters of appreciation, something like that. For times like this, we've had 2 or 3 pretty bad, but challenging situations regarding snow removal. And they've done a great job. That's about it. I can't think of anything right now, but if it comes to my mind, raise it next time when we have a meeting. Thank you.
Fred, we communicated with PennDOT regarding the light, or have we heard anything back from them?
No, we've not had a response back from PennDOT.
Okay.
The letter did go out to them right after the last meeting.
All right, and to the sidewalk issue, at the end of the report, it says that it's a recommendation to Borough Council for this meeting. How does council want to approach that?
Mr.
I guess
Potts,
is my question.
Mr. Potzer and I had extensive discussions. He was very helpful, and I got a much better perspective and picture of the problem that we're facing, the challenge we're facing with the sidewalks. We may end up sending some letters out, I guess, to various people and maybe select one or two streets that we're going to deal with first, so that we don't try to tackle the whole thing at one time, but go incrementally and try to resolve section by section.
I mean, this
If that's something you
plan
think-
looks good.
I'm sorry.
The plan looks good. As I looked over it, it looks pretty comprehensive and provides some assistance and ways to get assistance. It's going to provide a contractor list, those kinds of things. I guess my question is, do we need action on this, or are you okay with just moving on with what we got?
It's a good question.
I think we should have a motion to approve the memorandum of the Public Safety Committee.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so it's been moved. Do we have a second?
Second. I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussions, questions regarding that?
I'm concerned with regard to some of the low-income elderly people that we have in the borough who may not have the financial capability to take care of their sidewalks. And I don't know how we're going to approach that. But I think as we go through this process and send the letters out, I'm sure they will surface and say, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. And then we need to find out how we can get them some help. And again, we're lucky we have Mr. Potzer here, and he knows the borough and he's been here for years, decades. I'm sure we'll come up with a solution with his guidance to take care of that issue. It's a challenge. Now with the economy being the way it is, it's a bigger challenge now. For what's that worth? I'll share.
Any other questions, discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Darius?
No, sir, thank you.
Any questions, any other questions for him? All right, EDA, Mr. Potzer has provided an update on that. Mr. Erickson is absent tonight, so moving down to Recreation Committee, Mr. Sinkovitz.
I don't have anything really specific, Scott, but I would like to get a meeting together with the people that were on our committee last year. I was talking to Joe, he's working down at Sailors, and he's in favor and said he'll try to get the rest of the committee together, and Jody. I think we should get something going in the month of March.
Yep, sounds good.
And
Sounds good.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that we had talked a little bit at the Finance Committee about some of that discussion at the work session as well next week.
Yeah, I think we should get that started anyway, something preliminary. And number two, I talked to Kevin Yost, and he will have hopefully some prices for us for our workshop coming up to the building we met. So that's really all I have.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Sinkovitz? Okay, Mrs. Deal.
Okay. Well, back to the EDA, I am having an advisory committee meeting tomorrow night. And it's going to be at the borough office. Everybody's coming, but I don't have anybody yet from like the church, and Dr. Pion didn't get back to me either. So, but everybody else that is on that committee is coming. So I'm kind of excited about that. And as far as quality of life, I do have a couple things. One of the things that was brought to my attention that the Big Spring Area Food Bank was in need of having their parking lot plowed on the days of food delivery and distributions. They were hit up with a big bill, but I think that bill's gonna be taken back away from them, but I talked to Fred, and first of all, I had given Shaney some names of people, and then I talked to Fred, and Fred suggested that since our guys are already down there directing traffic, that maybe they could just go ahead and plow the snow. Now, I also talked to Shaney, and she had a Mr. Skikes from this area, and that he would do plowing for them for food bank, but he would have to do it on Saturdays. So I was hoping to get permission from the Borough Council that if Shaney needs somebody to plow the snow for her on the day that they bring the food, which I think is usually the Friday before food bank, and food bank day, if we could get our guys just to run down there and just, I mean, it's kind of a straight shot that they would have to do if, our borough would be willing to help the food bank out.
They don't need to do the whole parking lot, just the
No,
service
they,
area.
yes, just the service area. Yes.
So is that a motion?
That is a motion. Yes.
Do
Thank
we have
you.
a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor for having our folks plow out when needed for the food bank, say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Any abstentions? All right, motion carries.
Okay, thank you. And another thing that I think would be nice to do, the other month we gave out certificates to like Kurt Saylor and to Shaney Shank and some other people. And, we do have some other people that have done a lot of really good things for the borough recently. And not only for the borough, but for individuals in our community. And I was thinking that maybe we could do one for Mike Bender, because Mike does an awful lot for the borough and for individuals. And I also was thinking about Bob Berry, because Bob does do a lot as far as, I mean, I know that it's part of his position, but he does do an awful lot for our community also. So I think it would be nice if we could do a certificate for at least those two. And if anybody else can think of, other people, it might be a nice idea. I think it's nice to hear positivity and not always negativity. And those, I mean, it doesn't cost us a lot to do it, but I just think it's a goodwill gesture.
Do we want to just continue and compile a list and maybe next month approve those?
We can do that.
Like gives people a month here to think about it, or, by
Right.
next week, think about some names to add to
Right.
it. We
Okay.
can do that. Okay,
All
so
right.
Mike and Bob are two names that I hear. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
very good.
And I think that's all I have as of right now.
Any
Thank you.
questions for Mrs. Deal? Okay, Mr. Crouch, administration.
You have to unmute, Mike.
Working on it. I was double checking the figures here, making some adjustments on the sheet that Fred sent out for the tabulation of life insurance proposals. I'm going to kind of take the list here of items in reverse order. Just first of all, we need to authorize the borough manager and communications coordinator to prepare a 2021 spring newsletter for direct mailing to borough residents. So I'll make a motion that we give them that authorization.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
And we have information from Brown and Brown for submitting to them to renew the insurance for the borough's vehicles and vehicles and buildings and so forth. The recommendation would be that we can retain Brown and Brown again as the broker of record and allow them to shop for the best price for us. There's only so many companies in the insurance market, so we can put out bids and get multiple copies back of the same quote, or we can have them just do the shopping for us, and they've done an excellent job for us in the past. So recommend that we go with that. Fred, do we need the council to authorize that tonight?
That should be, we should do it only because we did authorize them for a 2-year period, which is now passed. So if you want to reappoint them for 2021, that would be appropriate.
So I would make a motion that we appoint Brown and Brown as broker of record for, I would say, another 2-year period.
All right, so the motion is to approve Brown and Brown for a 24-month extension as manager, or as what do we call that? Something of record.
Broker of
Broker record.
Broker of record. There we go. All right, so it's been moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
And I believe you all would have received copies of the life insurance proposals from the various agents. We got proposals from Shoemakers Insurance, John P. Wolf Insurance, and Jeffrey Bowder Insurance. The sheets, the cover sheet, or the front page of the Bowder Insurance proposals only shows the life insurance quote. So that's why I was doing some quick tabulations here. The total prices from Bowder for life and death and dismemberment are $28.80 for Mutual of Omaha, $24.40.80 for Principal Life Insurance, which is exactly the same as the quote from Principal for Shoemakers. And then Hartford actually is also $24.40.80, I believe. So the by far the best deal would look to be the Kansas City Life Insurance proposal from Shoemakers, not only for cost, but because they're offering us a 36-month rate lock, which is excellent. No, I think they were offering a 2-year lock from Principal, but all the others are only giving us a quote for a 1-year period. So that $23.76 for locked in for 3 months is an excellent deal, and would recommend that we go with that. And I think Fred proposed, and I think it's a smart way to do it, is just pay the premium on an annual basis instead of paying it monthly. So that's my recommendation. Anybody has any questions?
Annually versus monthly, how much of a savings that?
I didn't see that they were giving us a price break on it. It's just, it's done, it's taken care of, and we don't have, and it's not a recurring expense that we have to factor in.
So they don't charge a little bit extra for doing it monthly.
I didn't see that information. Did you, Fred?
Just about every one, when you do it on, a monthly basis, there's a $10 to $15 handling or finance charge. So we avoid those costs just by paying it lump sum. And also the Water and Sewer Authority, they have a portion of this insurance that they will be covering will be between $500 and $600.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right, so it sounds like that's a motion, Michael.
If there are no questions, or nobody has any other input, I would make a motion that we approve and accept the Shoemaker Insurance proposal from Kansas City Life for our borough employees.
A second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Very good.
The 3-year lock may mean something this year because for the first time in modern history, the life expectancy has gone down this year because the number of people dying of COVID. So,
Been down that year, I believe, right?
so it's a good year to lock in the rates.
Yes.
Then
Anything else, Michael?
The third item here on the agenda is talks of 2 vacancies on the police commission and the zoning hearing board. I was not aware that was of a vacancy on the civil service commission. As far as I knew, we had appointed 3 individuals and they were awaiting the swearing in. So that particular part of the item kind of caught me by surprise. We do have a vacancy on the zoning hearing board that I know we need to fill, and we need to discuss how we're going to do that.
I can speak to the Civil Service Commission. We did at one point have 3. However, one of them is not eligible to serve because that person is an appointed member of another borough commission. And under the civil service regulations, that eliminates them from also serving on the Civil Service Commission.
Well, that question, Randy, that question was raised when we were appointing the individuals, and our solicitor reviewed it and assured us that there was no conflict.
Well, I disagree with that.
Well, that's
Politely, because it's the exact same situation that resulted in Mr. Over's removal from the Civil Service Commission. He was a member of the Planning Commission, and he also was a school board member, but he was ineligible on both counts. My take on this
my
is,
recollection was that he's only ineligible because of the school board position.
if you read the new civil service regulations, it states, and Fred can speak to this also, it states any appointed positions within the same municipal government. Also, my point being not really wanting to be difficult, but we have to quit doing things like this. We have to quit appointing people. We've had 2 consecutive civil service commissions where we sort of flew in the face, bending the rules of the regulations, and it came back to bite us both times. We need to make sure that there's no inferences or actual conflicts. And now, so my understanding now is we just need 1. I don't know where the second, if there's a second vacancy, where that came from.
Okay.
But it's speaking to still having to find someone. The chief and I are not participating in the selection process or out recruiting people for the exact same reason. Not having any inferences or accusations made that we attempted to stack the Civil Service Commission with people who would be inclined to favor any new candidates that we favor. We have to avoid those inferences. So the chief and I are not out recruiting people, nor are we going to, for that very reason. Because that came up with the last council. I think the term that was used was the good old boy network. And we're just not doing that.
Marcus,
Yes.
when you made your decision to appoint the planning commission member, was that due to the fact that the planning commission, unlike other committees of the borough, is only a recommending body? It has no final say in anything.
I don't know what regulations you're referring to, Mayor. Are you talking about our local regulations or are you talking
No.
about the federal?
The state civil service regulations.
Okay. I'll check the state again to see if there is, but there, quite frankly, I can't see when you're on a recommending board. It'd be like being on a board that has only a recommendation power, like the planning commission. That's not a conflict of anything.
It states an appointed member of any other board or commission within the same municipal government.
I'll check it out if I see
I
that
don't think
language.
it didn't say anything about the duties of that person and whether the duties would involve a conflict. It just says appointed board or commission member would make them ineligible.
I'll check it out. I'll give you an answer Tuesday night. How's that?
Okay, thank you. And I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but we've been burned on this before. So this time I want to make sure we're 100% right.
Well, Marcus, if you can check that out, that'd be great. And then in the meantime, if anybody has any recommendations for, potential commissioners, if you could bring them to Fred or Scott or myself, members of the admin committee, and we can have them ready to approach if we need to.
In the meantime, I will give those two people already approved to the Civil Service Commission. I'll give them your email address, Randy. And that way we can get them sworn in because we can still function with two, correct?
Right. And the planning commission member that we've been discussing, it turns out that person is eligible. I have no problem with that at all. I just want to make sure that that this time, this will be our third commission, that we're on solid ground with everybody who's on there.
Yeah.
Understood.
I'll look at the language and let you know Tuesday night.
Very good.
So
anything else, Michael?
And then the same with the zoning hearing board, or if anybody has any recommendations or knows of somebody who may be interested, refer them to Fred or myself or Scott, and we will follow up on that.
Okay.
That's all I have.
I had down from the finance committee, the fire truck request for the new, I don't know if you need to update council or anybody on that or not.
I haven't seen their request. Fred has told me about it. I guess they are requesting that the borough assist in purchase of a new truck. So my plan would be to request a meeting with the fire company officials for the admin committee, and we go or anybody, I guess anybody from council would be welcome to attend, but at least a few of us go meet with them, find out what they're looking at, how we can collaborate with them most effectively, and so that we don't have just a back and forth for weeks or of letters and emails trying to work things out, but we sit down and just talk to them and find out exactly what they're looking for, what they need, and how we can work with them.
Okay, very good. Any questions for Michael?
Randy, we would also like to do the same thing at some point with the police department, just to.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that was sort of the impetus of what Bob, Mr. Darius was talking about, where we actually have a meeting at the station in the conference room where the chief can talk about the future needs and answer any questions that are that council members have.
Okay.
And we get a chance to hear from all of them, not just the chief. We get to know them individually and, what they're doing for us. They're doing a lot of things that we don't know. It's nice to do it at least once a year, I would think.
You're correct. They're doing a lot of things that we don't, that the average person doesn't know.
Yeah, but we're the council, so I suppose we should, we should have a better picture of all the great things they're doing for us.
Okay. All right, moving on. Citizen comment period. Fred, did you have anything?
I had no emails. We checked the mailbox this afternoon. There was nothing. We do have some items of correspondence.
Okay, and I don't have anything on YouTube, so let's move down to correspondence.
Okay, the first item that I have is a letter from G.H. Harris. They received the delinquent 2020 occupational tax listing and have advised that as of Friday, January 29th, notices are being mailed out to the delinquent taxpayers. This is for the occupational assessment tax. So those notices did go out January 29th. There is a lengthy 3-page letter that I sent out to everyone today. It is from a committee that is headed by Tim Potts, who is from Dickinson Township, and it addresses the Claremont nursing home situation with the county considering the sale of the Claremont, and it asks the Borough Council to consider requesting that the commissioners delay in their decision on this and offer more transparent recommendations and reasons to the public regarding this transaction. I don't know if this is something you want to address specifically. It states here, specifically, Citizens Saving Claremont requests that the Newville Borough Council ask the county commissioners to delay further consideration of the sale of Claremont until council has the opportunity to learn the potential economic and social effects of such a sale, until the residents of Newville have a well-publicized opportunity to express their opinion at a public hearing, and until the end of the COVID's effects allow Claremont to resume normal operations. So, just reading this, the decision that you're being asked to make is to ask the county commissioners to basically delay the sale, to offer more transparency to the public, and also to request a public hearing in the matter.
I would be in favor of that.
Well, I think that this has been an ongoing thing for not just this past year, but it's been going on for several years. I think that the being owned by the county, it has cost the county some monies. And I think that, like in our situation here in the borough, we're always trying to, watch how we spend our monies. And, I think that they just went out of the nursing home business. It kind of makes sense to me, but, and I don't think that, I don't know that we as a borough want to get involved in, stopping them from, making decisions. So that's my 2 cents.
Do you see this as a can of worms we open up, or what? What do you see it?
That's what I see. And, I think that they've have had some hearings, public hearings on it. I know that it's, like I said, I know it's been discussed for several years now, because I have some good friends that actually work at the Claremont nursing home, and it's been an ongoing thing. So it's not something that just popped up since COVID. So
Is there any reason why you can't all consider it for another period of time, like, and consider it next month? And
Well,
sort of
yeah.
gauge the opinion of
Yeah,
people around us?
it doesn't matter, to me. I just know that it's been going on for some time. So
Yeah,
Uh,
there actually was a public hearing yesterday for the county commissioners regarding the topic. And I think a lot of the concern isn't necessarily who owns the home and that kind of stuff. I think there's a group of people who feel that maybe protections haven't been granted to some of our neediest populations, and they feel like by taking the county home away, we're basically eliminating a low income outlet for a lot of our low income families who need to use the home. That's the argument that I've heard. I'm not saying whether I agree with it or not.
I agree with it, with that argument, because that was the original intent of the county home. That's why it's there. And what the commissioners have said very little about is what would the cost be for those people to stay there if it becomes privately owned?
Right.
Whether or not they'd even be able to afford to stay there. The same, I'm on the board of directors at One West Penn, which provides reasonably cost housing to elderly county residents. That's also a county-supported organization. And you wonder, if they do it to the county home, what's next? I think that they're not spending enough time talking about what the original intent of the county home was.
well, I'd be interested in knowing how much a resident pays at the county home to stay versus, say the Church of God home or, Thornwalk, one of those places.
I don't have figures to quote you right now. I know when my wife was a phlebotomist going into those homes, she heard from the residents at different ones, and she drew at Claremont as well as some others, what the rates were, and it is a considerably lower cost option there at Claremont versus the other, and even like some of like Church of God Home and I think Green Ridge and so forth are actually considered nonprofit, and yet the cost is still quite a bit higher at those
Right.
than at the county home.
Right.
So I tend to be sympathetic to the argument that it is taking an option away for our lower income elderly citizens. So I would definitely be interested in more information on. I'm going to look through this. I didn't have much time to look through the letter.
And I'm not arguing that fact. I'm just saying it isn't something that just happened, as what I was kind of taking that, these people think that it's, just something that happened since COVID, and it hasn't. It's been an ongoing discussion. I mean, yes, I would hate to see, a home that is based on, helping lower income, people, not have a place to go. I agree. I wouldn't want, if it was me, I wouldn't want to have to make that option. Well, I'm going to have to live on the street instead of at home because, the county decided they were going to sell it. And I do have a question. Is out here at the senior center, is that housing out there ran by the county also? Randy, do you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
the county
I thought so.
housing
Yeah.
authority.
Yeah, I thought so. Thanks.
It's not
How
run by
about-
not run by the county redevelop. It's Cumberland Senior Housing Associates.
Okay,
It's an arm of the housing authority.
right.
Well,
Thanks.
I agree with you, Joey. That This is not a new issue. It's, in fact, I think it's been 5 years now since my wife
Mhm.
was going into Claremont, and there was a proposal floated that long ago, actually,
Right,
for the county to consider selling it. So
right,
it's not a new topic.
right.
what are the options there? I mean, can the county afford to keep the current status quo the way it is? If they can't, can they raise the cost slightly so they can at least break even? Or should they simply dump it, saying, all right, we're going to privatize it? I mean, there's seems to me like there are a number of spectrum of options and possibilities
Mhm.
to handle this thing and not go with one extreme or the other.
And I think, Mr. Darius, that's what this group wants. They want, a little more time so that the county commissioners can explain more the reasons, why they are possibly looking at selling it.
That's exactly right. That's the purpose of this letter that you've received. It's not asking you to take a position one way or another. It's asking you to write to the county commissioners, urge them to look at all the facts, hold public hearings, accept public comment, and make an informed decision. That's all this letter is requesting you to do.
Well, I don't see any problem with
How about
that.
we try?
That's something that could be done. And also, I don't see things in black and white. I see things with a spectrum of colors. The gray areas are the most difficult things to make a decision on. And this could stand in that gray area for what it's worth.
And I mean,
How about-
I do know that the county commissioners are, putting in a proposal to sell, things like making whoever buys it accountable for accepting Medicare patients and that type of thing. But I agree, I think that, they need to be a little more transparent to, the communities in the county before they make a decision that they want to sell it.
How about we do this? We have a work session next week. Why don't we invite one or multiple of the authors of that letter to come in, 15 minutes Q&A with us. And if you want to make a decision, that week isn't going to make a difference.
Right.
If you want to make a decision about it next week, but at least then I think it's good for us to get the information as well as to what the concerns are.
Good option, Scott. Good option.
I know a number of people on this list, and we could definitely do that, Scott.
Okay.
Why don't we go for that then?
All right, let's add them to the work session and see if we can get 15 minutes with them, because I know there's a number, like Joey, you just tapped into, that there are in their agreements, there are plans to allow for Medicare, but there's a lot of concerns about there's things sunset after 10 years and that kind of stuff. And I think it's important for us to know those things. All right. Anything else, Fred?
Yes, we have a letter to the members of council. On behalf of Zion Lutheran Church in Newville, we are asking permission to use Community Park on Easter Sunday, April 4th. Our church is still not meeting in person, but we would like to have an in-person outside Easter service. We would be interested in using the baseball field and erecting a tent close to the fence so that we could have easy access to our parking lot to the field. The tent would be erected Saturday and removed on Monday. We would appreciate your consideration of this request. As always, everyone is invited to attend, and social distancing and facial coverings will be required. Thank you, Joey Deal, Church Council President of Zion Lutheran Church.
Great idea. Let's go for it.
The only question I have, we haven't committed the softball field to anybody at that time yet, have we? I mean, they're not going to use it on Sunday, but Saturday they might.
I haven't seen the scheduled yet. Ed, have you?
No, and Kevin Yost has a schedule. He might have something planned, so we'll have to check with him.
Can you do that, Ed?
Yeah, I will do that. I'll try to do that this evening, in fact, or tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. Because he has a baseball tournament.
I mean-
I'll find out.
Why don't we approve this contingent upon no conflict?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's for Sunday, right, Jody?
Yes, it's Sunday, but we want to put the tent up Saturday, you
Yeah.
know, probably sometime in the afternoon and then take it down on Monday.
And what's that date again, Jody?
April 4th, it's Easter Sunday.
Oh, okay. That's appropriate. Yeah. I don't think they have a tournament of Easter, but I'll check.
And we're even going to do baptisms that Sunday morning.
Okay. I'll have an answer for your work session.
So
Okay,
you're
thanks.
asking for rain on Easter? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, we're having baptism.
All right, so we have a motion to approve Zion Lutheran Church to use the community park on Sunday, April 4th for their Easter worship service contingent to no schedule conflicts.
Second.
All right.
So,
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Any abstentions?
Me, aye.
Motion- Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else, Fred?
That's all the correspondence.
Any old business?
I have none.
Okay, under new business, we have two more items. The first one is to approve the Eagle Scout project with Nicholas Spielman to install a Gaga ball court at the community park to begin in April or after. The borough will assist with funding as needed and will provide equipment and site preparation also as needed, and would allow for me to sign his Eagle Scout documents also as they come available.
So
So
moved.
that's the motion. So it's been moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Motion
Mr.
carries.
Darius was the second, Judy.
And the next one is to deposit $900 into the police debit card account from the general fund. This is to accommodate the new holsters that'll be required and other equipment required whenever they purchase their replacement handguns.
Scott, this
Yes.
is for the ammunition for the handguns and polo shirts.
Oh, polo shirts and ammunition, not
Yeah.
the holsters.
The
Okay.
holsters, you're correct. The holsters and the ammo pouches will be coming later. And the
Okay.
chief will have that recommendation for us at a later time.
Okay, so this is for ammo and then polo shirts for the department and also for our codes enforcement officer as well.
And just to expand on that, the reason we're doing this is ammunition is very hard to purchase. It's in short supply. When the chief sees it, he has to have the money available to buy it. So that's why he's requested the money for the ammunition. This would be ammunition for the new handguns.
And my understanding too is they've changed their handguns, and so they need different ammunition. Whatever they were using before, they can't use with the new handguns.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm curious, what's the life of ammo in this case?
And how fast you shoot it.
Oh my!
It's a good one.
I don't know if you're going to get a real answer out of that problem.
I
Um,
was just thinking out loud.
So do we have a motion to deposit $900 into the police department debit card account from the general fund?
I'll make the
So
motion.
moved.
It's been moved and it's been seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, any other new business? All right, we do have a need for an executive session tonight. No action will be made in executive session. If any action needs to happen, it'll happen when we come back. Okay?
Scott,
Yes.
before we go out, I just talked to Kevin Yost, and he does not think there's anything planned for that weekend.
Okay. Very good.
All
Okay.
right, thank you.
Sounds good. So do we have a motion to go into executive session?
So move. So make a motion.
It's been moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.